and put out 2 videos that didn't have any sound. I've had shingles for the last, I don't know, a week and a half. So, hold on. I have done a couple of turns. I'm going to run back through all the way the American turn. Or updated, fully updated. There was, with all these games, it's a little tricky. I don't know if my computer's going to be too slow right now. All right, so here I got it running. So like I said, this is, I didn't realize that showed up, by the way. So anyways, I've had shingles and it's not been easy. Definitely some pain around it. I do not recommend it, as Brian Regan says about in his comedy special about going to the ER. I rate it a 1 star. So 2 thumbs down. So here is the American purchases. This is purchases for round 4. Big crucial rounds. I am trying to get into this bomber thing. And it's got to be incremental, right? I mean, but right now with his super subs, these destroyers are crucial. I mean, but you have to have some sort of punch, offensive punch, and the Atlantic needs an aircraft carrier. Yeah, and a carrier needs a fighter, right? Okay, so let's keep going. We're in the war. We're upgrading to the right panel. Let me just show you the right panel. I'm going to try a little more careful. Shultzie is being very, very generous with me to let me do this. And let me just show you that right panel. They upgrade to the big factories, and then this triggers. And then let's move that panel back. And we'll show you what we got. So what we're going to do here is, I'm afraid he's trying to rush Gibraltar, slip into the med. He won't be able to slip into the med because you can't go through a strait until you've had it around. So I figured he was going to post off Gibraltar and then support that with, well, he couldn't support it with Italian fighters, but he was going to position himself in Gibraltar and hold up there, and then post some planes off Morocco. Maybe drop an airbase in Morocco. He had saved some money, actually. That's interesting. So drop the fighters in Morocco, airbase, and then all of a sudden this becomes the Rock of Gibraltar, right? I mean, but the Rock of Morocco. So that's what it looked like to me he was going to do, and I was unwilling to let that pass. So, and he was trying, pretty smart of him to try to, and then he had saved money for the Italians, so he's going to drop some Navy in there, and then all of a sudden I've got a Axis Lake and all sorts of problems. So let's see if we can take care of that situation. So what we did was we did a whoops. Now this is what I like to do. I'm going to go slow, a little slower maybe than normal. 2 fighters to Gibraltar, one cruiser to 91, and then a sub screen around it in every sea zone. I believe that's 104. I'm going to try to walk you through this. 103, 103, 790. 786 and 787. Now this has left me in a little bit of a disadvantageous situation, but there's no blocking these subs. There's no destroyer blockers because they're right next to it. And if he tries to take out the subs, obviously the other subs then collapse in on that destroyer, and we have a $5 exchange for an $8 destroyer, which sounds really good, right? So the bombers are going to go, I couldn't figure out what to do with this bomber, so I play around with that for a while. I'm trying to create the destroyer screen, and you'll notice this midsection right here. Between the Philippines, he's got a sea base, so I've got to block him from being able to hit Carolines with a Navy. And that requires either Guam or Marianas, Palau, and either Dutch New Guinea, or New Guinea itself, and I chose Dutch New Guinea, Palau, and Marianas. All right. The fighters can reach, by the way. All the fighters can hit my force. But so I'm playing around with a destroyer screen. Now this is costly, and you might say, well, that's not worth it. But like I said, if I'm setting up skirmishers, that means that when he hits me with his $8 with now $6 subs, but in his planes, I might take down him. He has inflationary spending. So, for instance, if we were to look at the Americans, they're getting about 70 something, 70, 70, maybe 72, 70, maybe. And the Japanese are getting 47. So his dollar is not the same as my dollar. It's not half. It's probably 2/3. Since 80, this would be 82 if it's doubled. I'm not at 82, so it's not 50%. But his dollar is worth about 60 cents on my dollar. So these, or my dollar's worth $1.60 of his, is what I should say. So his subs are worth actually about the same as my destroyers, if not more. My destroyers with shipyards are worth 7. So he is actually losing more than I am, even though straight IPC value doesn't look like that. Okay, so let's go back to actions, history. Okay, here we go. Okay, so then destroyers, and then I invade Caroline's. Successful invasion. I think about bringing the planes in, and I forget that I've got 5 cruisers because cruisers only cost $9. Woohoo! Cruisers solved. Cruisers are not for losers when they cost $9. And I've got all bombardments, all 6 coming in for bombardments. So pretty cool. Still thinking about where to fly that bomber. Can't figure it out. That is a Doom bomber. The Doom. The boom, boom, boom. Casa Doom. All right. Got the bombers, and I don't know what to do with them. I think that is actually what I'm going to end up doing. So you see that right there. I did end up trying to bomb that factory, which I think is awesome. But he shoots me down. Now he shot me down twice so far this game. I've probably done 5 raids, and he shot me down 2 out of 5. So I'm assuming at some point in time that it will go better for me.
What did he text?
He didn't text. So there it is. I get 3 1s. Nice. No, 5 dice at 3. No. My cruisers hit. Okay, that's it. And then one of mine. And I lose. All right, that's it. Battle over, and now I reposition. I've got strike force off of Hawaii, and I've got to place my destroyer carrier transport off of 101. Fighters there too. Bombers on the East Coast. 3 destroyers to keep up my pickets, and artillery goes in the East Coast. Okay, and then I end up with $64. So let me try to just highlight this as much as possible. I want to do this. Oops, nope. So let's see, right there, we would be looking at infantry right here. Infantry, artillery, bomber, 2 anti-aircraft, transport, fighter. Here is a carrier and destroyer in 101. The sub shield goes from 103, 90, 88, and 87, as well as this cruiser and 91 and 2 fighters and 90 Gibraltar. I believe that is the East Coast. Let's go to the West Coast and to 4 mechs, 2 anti-aircraft, 3 destroyers. There's a destroyer off of Midway, and there's a fighter in Midway, infantry tank in 20 in Hawaii, British battleship and transport in 26, and a bomber in Wake. Destroyer shield off the Marianas, Palau, and Dutch New Guinea. That's 45, 34, and 22. Carolines has 3 infantry, 2 artillery, 4 carriers, 1 battleship, 3 transports, 2 subs, 1 destroyer, 5 cruisers, 5 American fighters, 1 diver, and 2 Anzac fighters. And that is, that died. The bomber died trying to bomb. And let me bring this back real quick to do the round robin. Nope, can't do the round robin. Okay, that looks right to me. All right, let's move on from there. Bring up our history again. Go to the Chinese. Chinese had an interesting turn. $74. So what did we purchase? We purchased what we always purchase. Men. Okay, so then we go to, we're taking Shahar, Hopai, and we set up the 2 infantry picket as much as possible. That's it. We take, and then I think we undo something. Yeah. So with my placement, I set up 2 pickets. The only place that doesn't have 2 pickets is Hopai. So what do we have here? We have Shahar with 2 infantry, Hopai with 1, Kichao with 2, Szechuan with an infantry and a Russian artillery. Suyuan has my fighter. Turn complete, and I collect $10. So nice. Collect 9 and saved 1. All right, so that's the recap for both of those. Where are we at? Time-wise, 12 minutes. All right, let's see what we got here. Okay, so I purchased, so I know I'm going to do a lot around Gibraltar, so I purchased a bomber, diver, fighter, and an artillery. Okay. And what are we going to do? Let's bring those back just a little bit. So this is the unusual one, and this is the one I really feel stupid about. But I thought the sub was here. It is not. It was moved in the comment in my text messages. So I bought a sub and a destroyer. It's not a terrible purchase, but I would have bought another plane to go to Moscow if I had to. So what I do is I move 3 fighters down from UK to Gibraltar. Bring the 2 infantry off of French West Africa and bring them to 92 to drop them off into Gibraltar. And then my fighters all move toward India. They are long-range aircraft. And 2 armor move to, and that's probably a mistake right there. India is fine, but 2 tanks move from East Persia to India. 1 artillery moves from East Persia to West India. 1 infantry moved from Persia to East Persia. 3 transports try to escape the bomber, and I mess around with these transports for a while and don't figure it out. So I eventually have to move them off of Madagascar, so ignore that stuff. I'll edit that later. Because he's got a sub off 39 on the board that I see, and he's got a bomber that can reach all over because he's got a landing space in the Horn. And for 3 transports, he'll throw that away. Okay. Artillery from Jordan, Transjordan to Egypt. 3 fighters and a tactical from Cyprus to East Persia. I play around with this Siam thing, and I'm not going to exactly say it because I think I will end up with 2, 2, and 2 again. And so playing around here, 2, 1 infantry, 1 mech in Siam, 2, I think I ended up infantry and Aussie in Malaya, and then infantry mech in Shan State, as well as the 14 infantry, 4 mech, and 1 tank in Burma. And of course, the 3 anti-aircrafts will move up there as well. The battleship moves from Hawaii to Carolines 33. Our anti-aircraft moves from Transjordan to Egypt. That mech is gonna 3. There's the non-coms. 3 anti-aircraft moved from India to Burma. And then we place all of our fighters there. So there's an equal number as I started the game with. And I replaced the bomber. You shot down. Freak nature. So I did, with Destroyer Wars, I did make an error here. I should have bought some destroyer, probably over here. But, it did not look practical to place it around the British Isles. So I'm just going to have to suffer some convoying. But you lives by the convoy, dies by the convoy, end up with 32 IPCs with a $5 bonus, and place my units and destroyer and sub in 39.
Dude.
And then I edit. Okay, so let me do a recap right now of this. This was 14 infantry, 2 artillery, 1 mech, and 5 anti-aircraft, 1 diver, 1 fighter. Let me just put this up like I did before. 1 fighter, 1 diver, 1 bomber, 2 French infantry, and 1 French fighter in London. 14, 2, 1, 5, 1, 1, 1, 2, and 1. Gibraltar, 1 infantry, artillery, tank, 3 British aircraft, 2 American aircraft, and then I had to edit this, and it's going to end up 2 more infantry in Gibraltar, and the transport's going to be in 92. There are 2 infantry in Brazil. There are 3 transports off of Madagascar. There's a mech in Alexandria, 4 infantry, 1 artillery, and 1 anti-aircraft in Egypt. Look at that glorious spread. 1 diver, 3 fighters, and 1 infantry in East Persia. 2 fighters, 3 infantry, 1 artillery in West India. 2 tanks in India. 4 mech, 1 tank, 3 anti-aircraft, and 14 infantry in Burma. Infantry mech in Shan, infantry mech in Siam, infantry and Aussie infantry in Malaya, as well as a destroyer and sub off of 39, and at 33 a battleship. Okay, let's see if we can press on. It's 18 minutes. We're going to press on to the end of the round, and then we'll start up a new video for the Germans and the okay, so the Italians they didn't buy anything last turn, so they buy this time 3 destroyers and actually 1 sub. Okay, so here's what they do. They move from Libya to Tobruk. They bomb the transport that's there. That doesn't have 2 men on it. Like I said, I edited this, and they invade Belarus and blitz through Belarus to go to Archangel with 2 tanks, and they think about I had some confusion because I had 1 more mech on the board than he had, so don't take all this as gospel. The bomber takes down the transports. Evil bomber. And
So you going to work?
I don't know. I'm waiting on the text message.
Just so you know, the Fanny case is on TV starting at 9:30.
Gotcha. Must see TV. All right, we're on the internet right now. Okay, so he moves. I believe this mech did end up in Belarus. There was no mech in West and no invasion of West because he wanted that for the Germans, and he places 3, not in 97. So 3 destroyers, 1 sub in 95, 90, yeah, 95. So then I added it to make it clean it up. There's no sub over here. This was a mistake. So, all right, that's it. That's what that does. So what do the Aussies do? So you can see there's artillery to defend Morocco. It's quite a good force, good navy, good small navy. I love small navies. This is not here. And he's approaching Egypt again. He's got a nice little force to protect Greece, and he's brought his troops back, realizing that the navy is now getting about to get serious as he tries to finish off. This looks small, but it's going to balloon really fast. Okay, so my purchases. I purchased a factory. I did. It gets the troops, the units into the battle so much faster. And 2 destroyers. I mean, yeah. So what we're going to do, we're going to take out that transport in Celebes, and we're going to send everything, 3 fighters up here to land on Caroline. We're going to send the Aussies back to Egypt, and we'll keep them in Malaya. We win the battle. No transport. Transport goes blub, blub, blub. And I will convoy that thing to death. And of course, Caroline can hit that. So Celebes, at least, and Java are definitely in striking distance. All right, so let's look at the situation after the... Okay, so I end up with $32 as the Australians. Let's take a look. Still do have an infantry in New Zealand, 2 destroyers placed off New South Wales in 62. I mistakenly did not move the fighter that I purchased last turn, so I moved that up to Queensland in the edit mode. 2 infantry, 1 artillery, 2 anti-aircraft guns, and 1 fighter. There's a Anzac destroyer off of 44, and there are, let's see if it lights up, should be 3 Anzac fighters here. Let me pull this out real quick. I can never figure out how to do that. I can never figure out how to see that lower part. All right, I am not seeing what I need to see. 2 Anzac fighters in the water. Okay, so there should be 3 Anzac fighters and 1 and 2 in the water. So, and then there's also 2 Anzac destroyers and an Anzac cruiser. Okay. Okay. So that's I'm just gonna, for some reason it's not there. And I think Shultzie, you probably have 3 Anzac fighters that have been in the game since the beginning. They didn't go anywhere. So one of the problems with transferring it to the computer. Okay, let's go with the French turn. And the French turn is right here. Oh, man. All right, here we go. So not much in the French turn. And we move our troop into Egypt. We move our other troop into Egypt. They have been united from all the way across the empire. That was not a battle. That was an edit. It just wasn't there. We leave the destroyer alone, and we leave the fighter alone. And that is two infantry, two French infantry in London, a fighter in London, a destroyer in 98. He's been there forever. And two infantry in Egypt, and that is the French turn. And that is 26 minutes catch up of round 4, kind of the bottom of round 4. That's correct, 36 out.